Lighthouse family. I was super excited to be asked to come and share a devotional with you all tonight. If I had a title to what I'm going to speak about, it would be Make Your Moment Matter. A moment is a brief period of time. When presented with a task, you have a brief period of time to say yes and walk forward before it passes. A quote from Eckhart Tolle says, "Most humans are never fully present in the moment. Now, because unconsciously, they believe the next moment must be more important than this one." I put together just a small list of people in the Bible, moments that people went through. Mary was young when her moment came. Sarah was old when her moment arrived. The widow only had a moment to gather vessels. Jacob had a moment with the angels. Are you aware of the moments that God is giving you, or are you refusing it because it doesn't look like what you thought it would? Is it a job, an addiction, divorce, sickness, a relationship that isn't working out like you thought? Does it just not make sense to you? Your moment will not be easy. It's going to look ugly. You're going to mess it up. You're going to make it ugly. And the work is going to be hard. The moment I'm living in right now is not an easy one, but I promise you, I am not going to run from it. I do not need all the details to trust God's plan. The Bible tells me in Philippians 1:6, I am sure of this, that he who began a good work will bring it to completion. Psalms 32:8 says, I will instruct you and teach you in the way you should go. I will counsel you with my eyes upon you. Sometimes we get caught up in our own life and our problems, and we blame the enemy, when the truth is, it is a moment for us to walk into our calling. Either God is who we say he is, or he is not. We either trust him, or we don't. Are you letting him be God of your moment, or are you trying to control everything about it? You will never fully know how to trust God in your situation until it is beyond something that you have a way to fix on your own. These moments build our faith and they carry us into our destiny. Stop running from your moment. We have to step up and we have to be bold. The world needs your moment and your bold faith in the middle of uncomfortable things. You are not being punished. You are being pushed to step out in your faith. When I went to the doctor in November, I had found a lump in my breast, and I went and they said they didn't think it was anything to worry about. So for 3 months, my breast cancer went undiagnosed. So when we did receive the diagnosis, we had a lot of questions of why was it not diagnosed back in November? Why did we have to wait the 3 months? How far is it pushed forward? And I was just sitting at home one day thinking, and it's like something, well, I know what it was. It was the Lord. He spoke in my spirit and just said, I prepared you for this. And it was like peace just came over me. And I called Aaron and I told him what had happened. And the more I thought about that, in January is when the church did the 21 days of prayer and fasting. And in those 21 days, I spent lots of conversations with God saying, I know you're doing something in our church. I want to be a part of it. Use me, send me, I will go, whatever it is, speak to me, I want to do it. My moment did not look like what I thought it would, but I found out that day when he spoke to my spirit that he prepared me in January and that his timing was perfect. If I had found out in November that I had breast cancer, I may not have been prepared for that moment. But because I went through that in January and we grew as a church and I really had my mind on what he was doing and focused completely on where he was leading the church, it helped me to handle my moments. I could have taken a moment when I was diagnosed and threw a fit and cried and stayed in my bed and been upset. But because God spoke to me, and I knew that he had given me that peace, I knew that day that whatever this was that we were going to go through, that he was with me, and it was my moment to step out. We have to stop blaming everyone else and questioning his ways. These are God moments. He can show up and be who he is. No matter how bad it is or how dark it is, just look for him in it. He is going to give you a moment to shine so that everybody can see him in you. This is not about us. We are his instruments. In Exodus 4:10-17, it says this: Moses said to the Lord, "Pardon your servant, Lord. I have never been eloquent, neither in the past nor since I have spoken to your servant. I am slow of speech and tongue." The Lord said to him, "Who gave human beings their mouth? Who makes them deaf or mute? Who gives them sight or makes them blind? Is it not I, the Lord? Now go. I will help you speak, and I will teach you what to say." But Moses said, "Pardon your servant, Lord. Please send someone else." Then the Lord's anger burned against Moses, and he said, "What about your brother Aaron the Levite? I know he can speak well. He's already on his way to meet you. He will be glad to see you. You shall speak to him and put words in his mouth. I will help both of you speak, and I will teach you what to do. He will speak to the people for you, and it will be as if he were your mouth, and as if you were God to him. But take this staff in your hand, so you can perform signs with it." In verse 13, Moses asked God to send somebody else. How many of us do that? When you're in your moment, we second guess and we think, "God, this really isn't for me. Are you sure you called me to do this?" God's plan is for you. Verse 17, take this staff in your hand so you can perform signs with it. Think about that. Miracles start with what is in your hands, not where your neighbor is, not their moment. Your moment is in your hand. At some point, we as Christians have to grow. We can't walk around with our hands out all the time. He needs someone to use, and we have to be willing to give our moments to him. Esther had a moment. She was faced with a choice, and her courage saved her people. In Esther 4:14, if you keep quiet at a time like this, deliverance and relief for the Jews will arise from other places, but you and your relatives will die. Who knows if perhaps you were made queen for such a time as this? Another translation puts it very simple. Perhaps this is the moment for which you were created. I just want to leave you all with that thought. Perhaps this is your moment. We have to make it count for the kingdom. Whatever it is, wherever you are right now, I don't care what it looks like, look for him. He is in it. I promise you, he is not going to leave you. This world needs us to step out. They need us to be bold. They need us to make a statement of faith. We have to stand by that. This road that I'm on, I don't know where it's going to lead, but I have such a peace in Jesus. I know that he's brought me to this. I have no doubt that this is my moment. And as long as he's with me, I will keep walking in it. And I just want to encourage you all tonight, whatever it is, do not give up on it. Let your moment be your destiny. Do not let it pass from you. I love you all, and I thank you for all the prayers and support that you've given my family, and we are looking forward to doing big things together. Thank you for tuning in. If this blessed you or you have someone that you think may could use this tonight, just hit the share button. I appreciate it. Have a good evening.